Today's video, I'm going to be showing everyone that is watching right now exactly how to propagate houseplants in the top of their aquarium in the cheapest and most effective way possible. It's a very simple setup, very easy. All you need to get is this. So you can get these from any nursery or plant shop, possibly even Bunnings. We just had these lying around the house. Now what these are is like plant potting trays where you can plant plants in here. This is not the only way you can do this propagating, and even in the style you can use things like this. You can buy these from the cheap shop. These are just like little crates, plastic crates with like a gauze so that water can flow through it. And all we're doing here is we're containing our plants within this, keeping fish out and just holding the plants up at the surface of the water. If your aquarium is really big and wide and this doesn't actually stretch all the way across, you can also buy these bolts from Bunnings. They are marine grade, and all you will need to do, if it doesn't span across your whole aquarium, you can buy these in multiple different lengths. I just happen to have long ones. Drill a hole, put the bolt through, put the nut on. That will add extra length, and then you can sit that on the edge of your aquarium. Okay, so once you've bought your crate, all you need to do is stick this in the top of your aquarium like this. Now, let's just say your aquarium is narrower. What you can do is you can get those bolts I was talking about from Bunnings, and you can have them sitting there. So it means they span it for you, they'll span the gap, and it'll be then the perfect size, exactly what you need. But I don't have to do that because this is actually the perfect width, and that's literally it. This is all you need, and it's really simple. Really easy, it's cost effective, it works, and it doesn't look that bad. So now all we need to go do is grab our plants so that we can propagate them. Okay, so we've actually gone around our house and taken a few clippings of some plants. First one we have is the arrowhead philodendron that I actually made a video about houseplants for aquariums. That video explains all the different types of plants you can put in the top of your aquarium. We're going to be using some of those plants for this video. I've just snipped this off a really long big vine, and I'm going to show you how you can turn this one vine into like 10 individual plants. Grab a pair of scissors. Behind each leaf is a little nodule, and these usually have roots. Clip about there, and that's a plant. That's another plant. More roots here, another nodule. That's another plant, that's another plant, so on and so forth. And these will be all individual plants instead of one big one, and they will all grow their own vines. So you can see we've turned that big vine into 7 little plants, and we're going to go ahead and do that with our other vines. So actually the same thing that applies for this arrowhead philodendron when you're propagating these little guys like this will apply to other creeping plants as well, such as pothos. It applies to that as well. So if you've got pothos, you can do the same thing. I don't have that much pothos, to be honest. Here's a pothos plant, and you can see the same thing would apply for this. It's a bit of a munted looking one, but you can see he's got a leaf there. We can cut him. This is another one, little nodule, and that's the pothos. You can cut the pothos like that. The other plant that we're going to be using is aluminium plant. It's going to be really cool to propagate these little guys. This used to be attached to a big bush, and I've just simply snipped it off the big bush, and it's grown some roots after I stuck it in water like we're about to do. And I'll show you how to do it again. It's really simple, just cut it off and it'll grow roots. So all these spider grasses, these variegated grasses, we're going to be using some of these, the little runners, and they're ready to go. They already should have roots on them, and the ones that don't will grow roots as soon as they hit that water. Final plant that we'll be using in this little propagation, a couple of peace lilies. Now that we have all of our plants, we can go and put them up in the little tray. So we're going to start with our arrowhead philodendron. Stick those little nodules down into the water column there. You can do it any way you want. You can just lean them over the edge, that'll hold them up to the light. But you're just going to be sticking those nodules, those little root systems in the water there. Now, the only thing that you're going to need is access to daylight or a light from your aquarium, which is what I'm using here because I don't have access to daylight. And they're a low light plant. They don't mind being part shade. So these aquarium lights will be just fine for producing enough growth for these little guys. Beautiful root system on this pothos here. We're gonna add our aluminium plants, the little unique one I was talking about before. Even just in the middle, they're gonna sit up all right, like that. And our peace lilies. I've already got one of these, so we're just gonna stick him in there. Spider plants. They're gonna go really well in here. So this is actually like a little filter in the top of your tank. And another cool thing that happens with these trays is the roots will grow down through the tray and it'll add little hides for baby fish and spawning media for egg scattering species as well. And you can see how cool that looks already, how easy it is to propagate plants. So we're all done and we've got all our plant clippings in the tray. We're gonna leave these and we will come back to these plants. We may make an update video in the future, maybe a couple of months from now, and just see how bushy this little tray will get. Now, the main idea with propagating plants, of course, is to take clippings and turn them into proper plants. So a lot of these plants don't really have good root systems on them right now, and we're gonna leave them till they have good root systems, and we can actually go then and plant these back into pots with good root systems, and we will have properly propagated these plants from clippings to plants for the garden or for your house. Or you could just keep them in there and add a really cool aspect to your aquarium. It's a really cool method to take plant clippings and turn them into proper big plants. It's cool because you can have a little business of literally propagating plants in the top of your tank. Doesn't require any more space. It looks nice, it filters your aquarium water, and you can actually make money from this as well. You could take clippings off your mother plant and just keep taking clippings, keep taking them out of here when they've got root systems, plant them into pots and sell them. It's a really cool method to make a little bit of profit, maybe to pay for some fish food or something, out of the top of your tank, and it looks brilliant in my opinion. And yeah.